What's up YouTube? My name is Chad. This is the Wisco Boater channel. This is my 1 month update from living on the boat. Today is May 24th. I have been living on the boat for exactly 1 month now. So I thought I'd fill you in on how this month has gone and what the first month of living on a boat has been like for me. I've got one little project I think I'll include in this video, and I also plan to do a quick walk around the marina to show you a few of the boats around here. Some pretty cool boats in this marina. I was going to do that today, but it's really windy outside, and you can probably hear my Chris Craft flag that's up on the bow blowing around. So sorry if there's a bunch of clicking noises in the background. That's the Bergy flag up on the bow. So what's it like been living on a boat for a month? Mostly good, I would say. Being on a boat that early in the season full-time presented some difficulties that I was not necessarily expecting. One of them I knew ahead of time was the pump out schedule. So I was in the water on April 24th and was at a temporary slip over at Quarterdeck, the marina that I was at last year. I love the crew over there, and I've got some great friends over there, and which I still see often, especially living here now. It's much easier to see them, and I expected to be there for probably a couple of weeks was my plan, and they were going to try to work that out for me, but it didn't work out, as you saw in the video I think a couple of weeks ago. I moved the boat over to Center Point about 8 days after I went in the water, and didn't get a chance to do a pump out while I was over there. So I didn't use the heads on the boat all that often because I was very close to the clubhouse. So it was an easy, quick walk up to the Quarterdeck clubhouse to use the facilities. But I did use it a few times. So when I came over here to Center Point, I knew that I had to ration my use of the heads on board, because there were no pump outs available until the week of the 22nd, which is this week. And I got my first pump out today, so that's all good. Back in good shape. I will get a weekly pump out at this point going forward. Here at Center Point, they charge, if you do it week by week, they charge $5 per pump out. Or if you're here all summer long, as I will be, they will take a $100 bill and pump out every week at no additional charge. So I paid $100 for the entire season of pump outs, which is a great deal. I don't know how many weeks the season is, but it's close to 6 months. So that's at least 24 weeks. So a little bit of savings by putting $100 in to have the weekly pump out. So very happy to finally have my holding tank cleared. I don't have to make the walk up to the clubhouse here at Center Point all that often. Speaking of, there were a lot of trips up to the clubhouse. Walking to the clubhouse again. To the clubhouse. Going to the clubhouse. Going to the clubhouse. And sometimes the conditions weren't the best, whether it was raining or super windy or cold and windy and rainy. Those are some of the things that I've had to deal with here in the last month of living on board. But early in my stay here at Center Point, the weather was so bad and nasty, like 38 degrees, windy. I mean, we had a couple of days where it was blowing 45 to 50 miles an hour with rain, and it made getting on and off the boat very difficult because the wind was out of the northwest, which blew straight on the back of straight onto the stern of the boat. And my only exit off the boat, other than this side door here, is out through the stern entrance, the rear entrance of the canvas. Opening that canvas in that wind and the rain was difficult, and then add to that I had to take Jersey out for walks and let her do her business. It kind of got to me, and I started calling local apartment properties here in Sturgeon Bay to find out if there was anything available anytime soon. Thankfully, there wasn't, because it wasn't rational thinking on my part. We had a couple of days of bad weather, and I let it get in my head, and I thought, geez, I don't think I can handle this. But then you know, I thought about it a little bit, had a little chat with my dad about it, and you know, it's a couple days of weather, and it's going to get better. I mean, I've been up here, what, 5 or 6 seasons now with a boat, and the summers are beautiful. Just happened to be that early season weather that was difficult to deal with for a few days. So I got past that, and everything has been pretty smooth sailing up to this point. So I did get an apartment though. It's a brand new place that's being built right now. I'm not going to be moving off the boat anytime soon. This place is not available until November 1st for a move-in date. So I will still be spending the entire summer on the boat and move into my my new place at the end of the season. So I'll talk a little bit more about that later, what my plans will be towards the end of the season. But very thankful to have that taken care of. You know, one less thing to worry about over the summer, knowing I have a place to move into once the boating season is over with. So, you know, other than the weather and having to walk up back and forth to the clubhouse so many times, everything really has been great. The heat on the boat has been working absolutely perfectly, and hopefully the air conditioning will work as expected once we get into the warmer months, July and August. I don't anticipate any problems with that system. I checked it out over the winter, and all good. So in the first month here, I've met a lot of new people. It's been great. Everybody's been very friendly. I've got some great neighbors. You know, some great friends are right behind me, and I expect a really fun summer hanging out with them when they're able to be up here. When I do the marina walk, I'll show you a couple of the boats. Well, one boat specifically that's next to me is one of my favorite boats. It's a Ranger Tug 29. They just came in last night, and they are going to be doing the Great Loop later this year, leaving in September, but they'll be here all season long. It's just a beautiful boat, and it gives me a lot of room to maneuver to get in and out of my slip. So I have done one cruise. I did my shakedown cruise the other day with some friends on board. You saw that video as well, probably. I believe it was probably the one that will be out before this, sometime mid-June. So, you know, real time, like I said, it's May 24th. You won't see this until mid-June, but I'll probably have the boat off the dock several more times by then. But the first cruise went good. One minor engine issue, which was explained in that video, seemed to have cleared itself. So next time I take it out, we'll check it out again, and hopefully no problems. So I do have some minor alterations to my summer plans. I'm not sure the lake crossing is going to happen. There may be some work stuff that's going to get in the way of that, but I still do plan to run over to Menominee, Michigan, which is crossing Green Bay. It's an easy trip, and hopefully we'll be able to do that a few times over the summer. So I'm looking forward to that. Kind of bummed about the lake crossing. Not kind of bummed, I'm really bummed about the lake crossing. But maybe I'll find another time to do that later this year or next year, if I still have this boat. So that's kind of some news right there. I've also been thinking that now that I'm going to be living up here, I'm not sure that I actually need a boat of this size. Now, I don't want to get rid of this boat. I love this boat. I've done a ton of work to it, and it's everything that I want in a boat. However, living up here, it might be too much of what I want or necessarily need for having a boat. So don't take this as an announcement that I'm selling this boat, because that's not planned at this point. It's just something I'm thinking about. If I do move to and I'm not going to be getting out of boating either way. So if I do decide to downsize, it will be just a smaller Chris Craft, one of the express cruisers from the 90s, or perhaps a Catalina. I'd love to stick with the Catalina line, so 281 or 291, or something along those lines. They will still give me plenty of room to hang out on, spend weekends on the boat, just run back and forth to the apartment when I need to. So we'll talk about that more later as well, but that's just something that's gone through my head in the first month here. It's not about the expense of having this boat, but I don't necessarily need to have the expense of this boat once I'm living up here. So I'll make that decision later. Just something I'm thinking about. So I've got one project. I'll go up to the helm and show you what that is, and then after that, we'll do a marina walk. Hopefully tomorrow the wind isn't quite so bad, and I'll be able to walk around without a bunch of wind noise. But yeah, first month on the boat has been absolutely great. Jersey's doing great. She honestly does not care where she's at, I think, as long as she's with me. So she's snoozing on the couch right now, but she's doing fantastic. No issues with overnights or work days. She's very good, very polite. She only gets up and gives me a little bark when she needs to go out and do a potty, and I know what that bark sounds like. It's different from her other like wanting to play barks or barking at some other dog or other people. Yeah, all good. So let's go up to the helm and I'll show you just one little project that I'm going to do quickly. And I'm actually pretty thankful that the reason that I'm doing this project is going to be solved by doing this project, and I'll explain here in a second. So let's go upstairs. All right, so we're up at the helm here, and one of the things that I thought that I had to fix that was on the survey that I haven't really addressed yet is the compass was noted as being off by 30 to 35 degrees, and it actually is. So if we look at my watch and point it in the direction the compass is pointing, I've got 99, 100 degrees. And if we look at the compass, it shows 124 or so. And I thought I was going to have to figure out the way to swing that compass, which I read the instructions on how to do it, and I was going to dive into it. It's quite the process, and I won't get into the instructions because I actually don't have to do that. I posted on the Chris Craft Catalina owners group on Facebook, and without showing a picture or anything, one of the guys on the group asked me if there was a speaker or radio, meaning VHF radio, near the compass, which of course you can see there is. And I've already got the mounting screws taken off, but watch what happens as soon as I move the radio. Set that off to the side. And we're right back exactly where it should be. Right at about well, the boat's moving around a little bit, so if it were steady, I looked at this morning, the boat's not moving. It's right spot on with my watch. So we're looking at 105 right there, but we're actually, the wind is pushing us, pushing the bow a little bit past where I was just showing you my watch. So no reason to swing the compass. It actually works perfectly fine. The problem is the VHF radio. So the project that I'm going to do this afternoon is just swap the mount for my spotlight. I'm going to put that up here. As long as it doesn't interfere with the compass, I will test that first. But my idea is to put this here and move this mount on the side and mount the VHF sideways. So no reason to show all that. I'm going to go ahead and work on that and get that done, and then I'll show you how it all looks once I'm finished up here. But super happy that I don't have to calibrate that compass. Just a matter of magnetic field from the radio being too close to the compass there. So easy fix. Let me get to it and I'll show you what it looks like when it's done. Okay, here's the new look with the VHF radio relocated and the spotlight relocated, and the compass is exactly where it should be. Well, now my watch doesn't want to calibrate. When you have that little squiggly line, it's not, I think that means it's off by 5 degrees or more. Well, anyway, for some reason my watch doesn't want to figure out exactly where it is, but that's the heading that we face. The dock is right at 100 degrees, so we have no interference. The T-Mobile Wi-Fi doesn't interfere. The iPad does not interfere. That's stainless. And the spotlight doesn't have enough metal in it to affect the compass. If it gets really close, it will swing it just a little bit, but the VHF being over here, that was the big problem. So Just took some screws to put in these holes just to fill them so the screw holes don't show. And yeah, came out great. And everything works like it's supposed to. All right, well, I just finished editing that part of that content, and I'm already at the 15-minute mark, so I'm gonna end this video here. And I'll do another video on the marina tour. It's after Memorial Day weekend now, and almost all the boats are in. There's still a few, well, more than a few oddly empty slips at Center Point this year, but we'll take a walk around the marina and show you some of the cool boats here, and show you some of my favorite boats that are in this marina, other than mine, obviously. I hope you enjoyed this video. We'll see you next time on the Wisco Boater channel. Happy boating, everybody.